Hello, everyone. Tuesday. Is it too soon for me to say I need a weekend? I reckon I've worked like almost an entire day. For a moment then, Robert, I thought that was your new house, and now I'm really disappointed. I hope this is like interior decor, like ambitions. That'd be amazing. Awesome. So welcome, everyone. Find the agenda. Cool. So say MTTP is in there. Like, I think it's looking pretty healthy. Incident related stuff obviously going on. We'll keep MTTP at 24 hours until we have 2 weeks without incidents, which we have not had yet. So the reason for doing that is just to make it really clear is when we go to the key meetings each month and we talk about the department performance indicators, there's often questions about why is MTTP higher or lower this month. So by setting that target a little bit higher, it makes it very clear that at the moment we're seeing incidents impacting things. Awesome. So I won't read all the announcements, but I do just want to say thanks, Myra. You got a super fun handover cover shift. So thanks for dealing with all of that. But also thanks everyone.
I want to point out that Myra during the handshake message said, I have to do only this thing. It was kind of a very short one.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why it went wrong.
So you jinxed it.
I'm getting more superstitious as the months roll on. But also thanks everyone who got involved last week and helped out, all the incidents and changelog work and all things like that. Like I said to Alessio earlier, if all we do in this month in June is get 14.0 out safely, we've achieved. So thanks for jumping in and helping out. Just for visibility, tomorrow we have a hard PCL in place. I'm going to use the notify to broadcast that out so that developers are also aware that they're not going to get a staging update. They won't be able to do anything with feature flags, but we should also pause auto deploys at the end of this today for this one as well.
Why do we have this? I missed this one.
Oh, there's a change. I need to dig out. This is a half-finished sentence because I didn't get around to finding the change. There's a Terraform change going out that if anything else changes at the same time, we'll take GitLab down. I'll link it in here. Or I'll put it in the notified message as well. So just to make it super safe. It's actually not happening till quite late in the day. But I think it's fine. We'll just play it safe and then we'll at least know that GitLab was fully stable before this change started, in case they do stay stuff.
I'll add the steps to pause and unpause the auto deploy in the release 14 issue.
Awesome. And then just C is just literally for visibility. I just read this issue today and found this Slack channel, but basically it's going to give some visibility into things that are using the release runners. So hopefully we'll be able to start, Graham's working on pushing these things away, blocking them from access so that we hopefully won't keep having this problem where we end up queuing deployments. Awesome. So number one, so I manually track deployment blockers. Apologies because I haven't had time in the last couple of weeks to do this. So this issue is also out of date. So I will catch this up, but it is a bit of a pain to pull the data together. So the bit that's tricky really is it's easy enough to find the incidents, but what's tricky is trying to calculate like how long and which environment ended up becoming blocked as a result of these, just because it requires going through several Slack channels. So there are a couple of ideas on the bottom of that issue already, but I was wondering like how can we make this more automated? It doesn't have to be 100% automated, but is there a way to somehow automate, I guess, the fact that things have become blocked? So like, hey, staging is blocked for 2 hours or production is blocked for 3 hours, and just have some way of accessing that.
Can we somehow modify the incident template to note those details down, and then we can probably generate a weekly report, like using a pipeline schedule, that analyzes the incident issues.
Yeah, we could do that.
So this is something that then we have to be good in keeping up to date, right? Because the template can be there, but if we don't fill it, or if so, I
think this is a long-standing issue with tracking times for incidents, right? This is not only for us, but in general. I think the idea was, using labels, putting in certain texts, places like started here, stop there, or in the incident review section, if we have a review, to put in a summary of for how long something customers were impacted, and that all feels not really nice. And then there was this idea of coming up with automation around incident management, started by AMER at this time, which later then was replaced by what is now called Woodhouse. Yeah, Woodhouse. And I think if we have a way to automate this in a better way, then I think we should look into Woodhouse maybe, because this is the thing which is creating incidents from Slack and so on. But I don't know how we could track these metrics, because in most cases it's really a manual assessment to figure out for how long something specific was blocked. Even if you declare an incident, it's not clear when it really started, right? So
can we check deployment pipeline instead? So I'm trying to think around the problem, right? So the effect, so we are tracking for how long something was blocked, and blocked mean that we were not able to deploy.
Yeah.
So
and most times that will be a failing pipeline, right? Like maybe not always, but a lot of times.
It can even just be delayed, right? Because I know you're right, because this is not necessary.
Not necessarily, yeah, not always.
Because maybe we find something and this is just an S2 incident for other reason, S1, S2, and then we cannot promote.
Yeah.
And then it would be hard to figure out if something was delayed just because no release managers were around to press the button, or if...
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Yeah, but maybe if we start with the incident, we can search for deployment around the incident time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's still brittle. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other option I was thinking is just using labels and tracking time, because there's the feature for tracking time in issues. So labels is easy because I'm looking at the table that there is in that issue. Basically, there are two columns which are GPRD blocked and GSTG blocked. This could be just labeled. So we search for incident that have the deployment related label, and then if they may or may not have GPRD blocked and GSTG blocked, and then we pull out this information. For how long things were blocked, either we use tracking time or we do buckets, something like we have deployment blocked 1 hour, deployment blocked 2 hours, deployment blocked 6 hour, 8 hour, 1 day. I mean, we can go into finer details like 1 hour and a half or things like that, otherwise we need thousands of labels, but maybe, I mean, it's more than enough. I don't know. And it's easier to add a label than just filling in the details. And because it's like when I open one of this, then I say, oh, I have to do the review. And you have to open it and edit and reread the template and things like that. But if we know something like this is easy, right? You just apply labels. You can say, I will apply labels now and then do the full review.
Could we maybe more often run the production check task to see when we are blocked because of production checks? And then maybe correlate this with ongoing incidents at the same time? Or just if we are blocked on production deployments, but we can't differentiate between incidents and change requests, right? Can we?
Yeah, it's part of the output of the production.
Yeah,
so if we start from production checks, is part of the output because we have the details if something is.
Okay, how about I summarize these approaches and sort of there's a couple of ideas on that issue already. How about I summarize these out in that issue We see what Graham thinks as well, get this async. Scarbeck's turned into a kitten. This is amazing.
A little bit, yeah.
Cool, and then we can see where we go for that one.
So this is what is in front of you usually, Scarbeck?
To my left, yeah.
Wow.
How can you work with that many cats? I would be totally distracted. Like,
Headphones and a large monitor kind of helps.
Brilliant. Cool. And then for B, so I've created an issue to announce 14.0. There's nothing too drastic in there. Just what I'm going to do with this is I want to make sure people are aware that we're starting the prep a little bit earlier. And then we'll use this, we'll link this into a broadcast message we can send around. Just this is going to be such an interesting release. If anyone misses the release, they potentially have to maintain a feature for 12 months. So I want to make sure that they've got enough visibility so that we're not under extra pressure to try and accept any late requests. So yeah, thanks, Myra. I'll add that. I was going to look it up and then you can tell I didn't. So have a look if there's any thoughts on either additional stuff we should put in there, or if you can think of any ways to make it easier to read or clearer, whatever, feel free to edit and suggest stuff. Awesome. Henry.
Yeah, I just wanted to drop in that I worked on a drawing of the release management process just to, for myself, get this mental mapping right, because the documentation is excellent, but it's composed of so many different pieces. And when I started, I didn't have enough context to really put all the pieces together. And with this drawing, I tried to just do that, and it helped me a lot to do it. But I'm not sure if this is helpful for others. I'm not sure what I'm missing. And of course, it's incomplete. It's just containing the most basic parts for me to be able to understand how our deployment and release management works in ways. It's missing a lot of details, of course. I can't put the full security release workflow into that one picture. That would be a little bit too much, I think. But I hope it helps just to get started. So looking for feedback or corrections where I missed something. That would be great. We can discuss this in the AMER async.
Nice, thanks for that, Henry. And are you looking for people to just leave comments on the AMER, or do you want us to edit on the drawing as well?
You can edit directly in the drawing if you want, but also if you think something could be changed, which I can do, then this can be discussed in the AMER as you feel. I mean, it's anyway a Google drawing, so it's not really version managed. But doing this in Mermaid or something, that would be a little bit too much, I think. So I think this works better.
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks for that. Awesome. Is there anything else anyone wants to bring up?